Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. You all may be seated. I know it feels good to stand for a second. I thank you all for helping to make this day possible. I could not have done it by myself unless I was by myself. At least now I have someone to speak back to me and with me. That are you all. Those of you that are around the country that is participating in getting this idea to its reality or to the fullness of it, I certainly appreciate your efforts, and I will not let you down. This is an idea that's infallible because you haven't seen the end of it yet. Just look at the math. If you can't see 1 + 1 is 2, then you're truly blind. Allah and the messengers got to produce number 3. Got to. That's you. I wanted to speak today, and I hope that I am as good as the drill team. Every time I see that, it brings up into me my own nature and the order of how nature was brought about. And this is something that is touching since we are in the pit of hell. In our thinking, in our being, we're in the pit of it because we allowed ourselves to be taken there and then held there. Hope you listen. Today, I decided to speak on from zero to God. And it's not just necessarily me, although whatever I do, you got to do the same thing because it becomes a law. I, like all other gods before me, or the original Allah, started from nothing. Total triple darkness, he started. From nothing, zero. He brought about 10,000 fractions in that zero and made himself one. However, there's been no one yet that would come before, that was able to come before you to let you know what type of pain or pleasure one experienced in the zero to become the one. You do it every day, but you never associate it with coming from zero. You call yourself living or trying to make a living, and you're catching hell. Those that are with me, you catch hell, but I'm teaching you how to turn it around. So it's not quite as effective on you as the others. Others that are in hell, they think that's what it is. I mean, not hell, this is just life. However, that's not so. When I decided to come to the original Allah in his home after he decided to leave the physical, the completion of himself, and leave and started to operate in fractions or a part of himself. You all sleepy? I want you to, if you get the tape, listen to it. Matter of fact, you should listen to all the tapes that I have whenever you can, because I say the same thing over and over and over. We got to grow. We've got to grow. I know I listened to Brother Minister Reggie and Brother always Brother Paul, but I'm thinking about Brother from Tallahassee, Brother George, Brother Minister George. I'm never good on names because they don't ever mean nothing to me. Other words, because none of y'all got your right names. So every time I call your name, like I'm calling you out of your name. However, I get around to giving you a real name shortly. Yes. What happens with me when I see and start to experience my own being in the way of order, in the way of math in such a way that it's got to produce something. It's got to. In other words, like the brother was saying, when light comes in, darkness has got to flee. It's got to. It don't have no power to stay. So when I hear this and I even see the drill team, what comes up into me is a knowledge that I know nobody has. And if I want to express it, I know you're not going to understand it. So it just lets me know, well, I got a long ways to go. However, I'm enjoying the trip. I got somebody to be with me. Starting from zero. You all should apply this to yourself also. It's not that I'm just Allah and you not. I'm just the best of you that is Allah. I'm the best of you only because I have a better knowledge and I have no negative. That's what makes me better. However, I have feelings. I have emotions. I have everything that you have except negative. However, I don't need it because I'm handling all of yours. You see? I've been in a hotel here, and just about every time I was about to get a nap, the phone rang. And you know, these phones are loud. You know, they wake up the dead. You know. So I told my wife, I said, well, and Sister National Aisha, I think she's allowed. She get more calls than the law allowed. They left the room and left me there, and the phone never stopped ringing. However, I thought to myself, I started this, so I can't complain. If I kept my mouth shut, nobody would know who I am. I wouldn't have no phone call. There's something that comes up that's real, and that's the power of right. In other words, if I'm all positive, which I am, and when I feel myself on the inside of myself, I don't feel no resistance. Whatever I feel, it automatically is. Only thing I got to do is just put the will to it. But I got to remember you. I better not go too fast, because I'll be out in space by myself again. So what I'm doing, I remember, I'm going to say this. I remember from a small child, I wasn't even walking. I remember my mother being, this is the way I saw it. Now, some of you all that were with the messenger may see the messenger the same way. You know, because when something is divine, it's something that's your nature. You may not be able to explain it in words, but the wordless knowledge comes up in your soul. And it gives a description to you. However, the language that you've been expressing, you can't get it out. So I'm going to attempt to let you know what I felt and feel. I know my mother was a very godly person. Not because she's my mother. I never really knew her as a physical mother that loved me, that fed me, that kept me, that I seen her loved by her husband or her friend or whatever. I never saw that. I only saw, like in a deep well that she had, a love that she could never express. She didn't know how, but it was there. Now this one, I wasn't walking. Matter of fact, I think I was just getting my lips off her breast. I thought to myself, wow, I see this and I feel it. There ain't nothing I can do about it now. But I know, one day I'm going to make everything right. I didn't know how, because I wasn't walking yet now. But I knew it. Now, I was born as a twin. So I had some water come before me. Not only did her water bag break, water came through her womb first. A woman or a sister, I got a twin sister, came 3 minutes before me. At the time when I could remember, I always remembered that she always got whatever she wanted. My mother wasn't able to give it to her. Now, I'm saying this, I'm not just talking about me. I'm also talking about your experiences. However, from zero to God. It always appeared as though they understood my sister. She understood them. It was an unseen physical presence or an existence that, or rhythm or method that was going on in life that they understood. I was always one that was there, but I wasn't. I was like the unseen person. It didn't bother me. I just wondered, what is happening here? I never had no say. They would walk by me and ask her, well, what do you do so and so and so? I know when my uncle came and got us, when my mother took us up from South Carolina to New York, we still wasn't walking then. When we got there, he was the one that was taking care of us. He drove subway trains. And he would get off after midnight at night. He'd always bring home some ice cream. They would always wake my sister up, bring her in. They didn't have to wake me up. I was already woke. But they never called for me. But it never bothered me. It never bothered me. Now, they would call her. I'm looking at them. They would give her the ice cream. She would sit and talk with them for a while. Then she'd go to bed. I was still there in the bedroom looking out. I'm not saying this as a sad story. I'm saying from zero to God. So you ain't went through nothing I haven't. It's just that I didn't have the negative to magnify what was actually taking place in me for me to react to it. However, since it happened, now I can look back on it and see that I most certainly don't have no negative. I don't. If I did, I would be the original God and kill all of you. I would. Why you think he ain't here? He said, look, either I got to destroy this or I got to go. I haven't quite learned everything that I need to know about this, so I'm going to leave and look back from my place of safety. I want you to think about what I'm saying now. Are y'all tired? All right, now this is in New York. And after that period of time took place and the poverty really got to be unbearable, and the only thing that we were allowed to eat or was brought into the house that I knew of that we were eating as children, my sister got a few goodies, but most of the things that I ate for every meal that we ate was oatmeal. So much so I can't swallow it today. I can't stand it. Just looking at it. Well, that's what we had. And to show you, now, I'm saying this because it's necessary for you to see how Satan, it wasn't my mother or father. It wasn't my uncle. It wasn't my sister. However, the unseen force that knew my presence was here, how he decided to kill the body before it was introduced to the entity. I want you to listen. Now, even though I appeared as nothing to them, because I wasn't of them. It's almost like Jesus being born of Mary. Although Joseph was the father, he had another wife. But this is something like he was made to do. That's why we say we sent Joseph or this man to Mary in our spirit in the form of a well-made man named Joseph. So he had to do this, whether he knew it or not. So it's the same thing with me. Now, I ate so much oatmeal, like I said, I couldn't eat no more. Now, some other people decided, well, they need to have some children. They were married and they couldn't have any. So this particular family, my mother and whatnot, that where I stayed, had a friend. And this friend was the sister of the family that could not have any children. And she knew the poverty of our family. So she asked her sister, would she take me? And they said yes. At that time, I was so nothing in the family that I was fed the oatmeal on newspaper on the floor. Well, ain't nothing big about that. The rest of they eat peanut hulls off the floor. Not the peanuts, the peanut hulls. However, I'm letting you know what took place from zero to God. Now, when I finally arrived to the person that wanted to see if they really wanted to adopt me, I could barely walk. I had rickets. You know those children that you see on TV with great big fat stomachs, little teeny legs? That's what the lack of food or the oatmeal had done for me. If I squat down, I fell down. I'm not saying this to bring no tears. I'm talking about you, black man. In other words, you're not going to come up with something that I haven't been through. So you'll know that I'm justified in being myself and bringing you out of it. Or whatever you in. Now after this took place, and the people started to nourish me, it was on a trial basis. I had to go back to this poverty in New York again. And the sister that wanted to take me fell in love with me as far as being a wonderful child. And my mother said the same thing before she passed. I was the most wonderful child that she thinks that anybody had ever had. But I never knew it. Not from her actions. And I'm not blaming her because she had to do whatever she had to do to survive. Yes. I'm talking about you, black man. Now, my mother would not let us be split up. Both of us she had to accept both of us or none of us. So the woman that raised me accepted both of us, my twin sister and myself. At 4 years old, I went down and met Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby's mother was the one that introduced me to my mother, the one that I call mother, that raised me. He's on the farm now growing some things for you all that taste real good. You know, and I think we got a couple of bushels up here. He sent up a little squash. Well, one of the brothers is on the way up here for you to taste. So if you go by the supermarket, there's not much in it, but it's there to be filled, and we're going to fill it up in a few days. So if you go by, you can get a couple of squash. However, getting back to what I'm saying, from zero to God. Now, to do all this and to have this done to you without knowledge is one thing. Matter of fact, it had to be done that way because a man with knowledge would not allow that to happen. So all this that's been happening to us as a black people or in this land for the 400 years and suffering, we had to take the knowledge from ourselves like we did the Caucasian. Before we ran him into the hills and caves of Europe, we took quite a bit from him. And before he was allowed to be God, he had to go to zero. I hope you're listening. Because this is the law. It's not that I just went to zero or the original law went to zero. Every man that came from us started from zero. I'm saying this so you will know, to God, that's where we must end up at. Now after that, I stayed there, started to go to school. They started to show me some type of love and kindness. They took care of me and my sister, or my sister and I, and we began to grow. I finally grew out of the rickets. I was a very exceptional student in school as far as being logical. I didn't know why, because I still didn't know who I am. But things constantly developed. And many other things happened until I met Elijah, or the teachings of Elijah. By then I was married and had quite a few children. Those of you that are here that worked yesterday, 15, 20 hours, you want to take a nap, go ahead. I'll get it into your head anyhow. You know, I'm not going to be offended. Close your eyes and take a nap. Well, after I heard Elijah and got the message, and it fit so well, then I start to explore, why did my life be or turn out the way it was prior to meeting the messenger or the message of the messenger? And I started to ask the question why, and I started getting answers. Now today, I can give a full understanding as to why every step took place. From everything that happened to me, from my children, from my children's mother, to my wives, now, even to Abbas Rasul. I know why. And that's a wonderful feeling because it gives you power that nobody can take it from you. It gives you so much power you can give some to others and they can't refuse it. They can stand up and tell you to your face, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. You just smile and say, yes, you can. Just go ahead. And when you start, I'll be there with you. And they surprise themselves because you actually be there. Now, the part coming up from an infant being nothing. And that's where we all started from. Coming through the womb being nothing. And then we started to be nourished to be something. And before the entity actually takes the body, while you're in the mother's womb being shaped and formed, you're part of the mother. You're still nothing. You can't justify your absence from that body that you're in. You can't justify, so you can't leave it. And once you leave it, you still can't justify being separate from it. You still got to be an attachment to it for a period of time. And this is the same thing that is happening with us from coming from zero to being God. We're in the pit of hell. And there is a God that is the God of the hell. We're not in heaven, although we build in heaven in this pit, but we're not in heaven yet. So we got to come up through this God to be God. We can't, it's not like there is no God and we're just coming up to be God. We got to come up and surpass the God that's already here that is God. Are you listening? This is a wonderful day. In order for this to take place, you can only do it with knowledge. And knowledge that gives you power. And I don't mean temporary power. It's got to be real power. And this is what I am attempting to share with you. All of us that think that we have all these problems and what you can't do, and you can't allow someone to say something to you. I've had people, I worked with a man and for a man from 1975 to 1981. Matter of fact, really up to 85. And this man was really Job of the past. And any of you all know anything about Job of the Bible, you know he was a cantankerous man. Matter of fact, he almost challenged God. And God had to come and ask him, did you make the rain? He started posing questions to him and let him know, I blessed you, it's true. Because you got all this blessing, you think you me. I got to call you down, son. And this is what had to take place. So this man, not knowing, he's in this modern time, like this God that's here, has made him think God is in the spirit also. So regardless of what I did or showed, or whatever power he's seen, he was amazed. He used to say, like Brother Reggie just said, how beautiful I am. He was married. He said, I would cut my right arm off for this man. He's closer to me than my wife is. I think about him every day. But his knowledge of how things were done and how it should be done was grossly ignorant. Grossly. He looked worse than Don King in the hair. And he was so ignorant he cussed you out and didn't care if he was before the Pope. And if the Pope said something, he'd cuss him out. In other words, he did it naturally. It wasn't like he was putting on. I'm saying this because if I'm in his company for this period of time, and this is where I worked, I had to endure quite a few insults from his ignorance. It was natural ignorance. And what made him that way, he knew that God existed. He couldn't find him, so he got mad. And everybody he saw, he took it out on them. He's still living today. If I call him right now, he said, Roy, when you going to come see me? I still love you. I left him for a while, and I went back to a place to get some part from my car. I heard all this noise before I got into the place. What's happening? The woman come running out of the place. I said, maybe somebody's in there robbing it. Let me go in here and see. I opened the door, stepped in, there he is, cussing the man out. He saw me, he stopped his cussing and ran and grabbed me and hugged me. Tears started flying. Where have you been? My wife is dead. I didn't know she'd passed. I said, she's gone. Dorothy's gone. He said, she's gone. I don't have nobody but you. He ain't have me because I hadn't been there in a long time. I'm saying this because what I do, you do. If you don't do it, it's because you don't want to. These are things, when you can bring that type of spirit into someone that is spiritless and that is actually mad with God, because God won't show himself to him. Now, you know, Job loved God. He loved God. He just didn't know how God did things. So this is the same man. He loved me. However, his expression of how things is to be done is a total insult to me. So I never abused him. I did what I knew was supposed to take place. That's why he could speak of me the way he does. Not did, does. Why is it when one of the officials that is learning like you, and the only thing that makes an official with me is they have a much easier or closeness to me than you do. They can get to me quicker. That's the only thing that makes them an official. They are learning just like you. So when they come and say, brother so-and-so and so-and-so, why do you take it personal? Why do you do that? You can't be God that way. As personal as this man is of this world, that's God. When it gets down to the business, he'll let you know right away. Don't take this personal. It's just business. In order for us to surpass that God, we have got to become non-personal. Let the words be words, not swords that stab you in the heart if they have no meaning to it. And if it is a sword, let it stab you to purify you. I don't mind being a scenario. I have never mind being a scenario because you could never embarrass me. Because I take what you're saying in the sense of learning. Until I learned, my learning came above most people that have knowledge. Then, if they wanted to offend me and try to, if I took it that way, I could. But then I said to myself, they don't know. If they knew, they are absolutely insane. They have no, if they know and still do it, and they facing me, well, they must know something about me I don't know about myself. You know, with any thought that I want to come about for a particular situation, it has to take place. It must. Are you all with me? I stayed and worked for this particular individual for about 5 or 6 years solid, and then about 4 years off and on. However, before that, I moved from New York and went to Chicago. And the very way that I went, you all may have heard me say this before, the captain was cutting me up left and right. I didn't know why he was doing this to me. I said to myself, I don't care how he's doing it. What are you doing? I'm going to Chicago. At that time, I think I had 7 children. 7. I didn't say, well, how are they going to make it? I was going, not them. I didn't ask what were they going to eat. I had a 3-story home with a basement attached to some other buildings on 1026 Bedford Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. I gave it to another Muslim brother and sister, just gave it to him. I ain't asked them, look, here's your notes, take it up and keep on pumping. I ain't asked them to give me a dime, not nothing. I left, went to Chicago. When I got to Chicago, I ran into this wall that everybody was talking about. I saw it, but I said to myself, that's their wall, ain't mine. I came out of New York and Minister Farrakhan was Minister Farrakhan then. And I stuck to what I had learned, which was my nature. And I saw all the things that was happening with the messenger. Matter of fact, I wrote him a letter. He sent word back to me, if you're not ready to identify the people and point them out, don't come. Well, I thought to myself, he knows I'm ready. Not only point them out, I'm ready to smack him. So since he know that, he must be telling me, it ain't time. From zero to God. From zero to God. Now I'm with the man that is closest to any man that has ever been to God, Elijah. Just before that great and dreadful day, I will send you Elijah. And he will turn your hearts back to the fathers and the fathers back to the sons. Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Lest I come, not that I will sin. I will come, I will send you Elijah, but I'm going to come and smite the earth. Now if Elijah is successful and you obey him, I'm still going to come and bring you out with great substance. Don't say I'm not doing it. I would have a whole lot more done if you all had believed. I understand the growth of how things go from zero to God. There's got to be quite a few things done for to have clear evidence. Now we've gotten to the point now where we are pushing everything to its maximum. I said I got the belt on, I really do. If you notice, you don't see me that much anymore. You don't see me that much. It used to be whenever there was a meeting, I taught math class. When there was something to be said, I was in your face smiling and saying something. Now it's gotten to the point, I don't know if I should say anything today or not. The ministers did such a beautiful duty in how they represented truth. Ain't too much more I could tell you. I'm just telling you a little bit about me that is actually you. All of you all that is so personal, you're killing your power. You're killing it. Are you listening to what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you have to listen to a fool, but once you drop being personal, you can always identify the fool. As long as you personal, you part of the fool. So you can't never identify him because you're too busy looking at yourself. Is that clear? Well, if it's not, time is passing. I give thanks to the elders that is here, that I still have to send the messenger, send them away with the messenger, and also get the messenger ready to send away. It's getting to be very close. It's getting to be very close. From zero to God. Now, after the messenger was taken from us, then I had to go back out into the world. However, I wasn't like the rest of you all. After going back out into the world, really, I was sent out into the world. And then, in the process of being sent back out into the world, the scientists that run the planet sent me Satan herself. Hope you listen. You may have heard me say this before. They sent me someone to make sure that I didn't grow. So as that I would not interfere with Warwick Dean while he had to do what he had to do. Separate the wheat from the tare. So here's this woman now in my life that I'm perplexed. What is this? She speaks righteously, but she has the nature of a snake. But I can't prove it. What is happening here? Regards to what I tried to do as far as being a righteous man to confront the damage that was taking place in the temple, every time I took a step to go, I had to come back. I saw what was happening concerning the nation and the ones that were in the nation. I remember seeing Brother Abbas Rasul on Indiana Toll Road. I don't know if he remember seeing me or not. I was going out with a truck. I stopped in one of the toll plazas. He walked in. I looked at him. I said, man, death is on him. He looked like he was like 10 shades darker. Not black, dark. And darkness is where Satan resides. And if you think I'm kidding you, look at Silas's picture and always look behind it and see what you see. If that ain't the prince of darkness, it ain't no prince. If he was standing here and you see this shadow here, it's light. He is strikingly heavy. Just letting you know. From zero to God. However, look at Rasul today. He's still in as light as he should be. But he ain't dark. A little black, that's all. After getting away from the 3.5 years of this woman being sent to me to hold me up, I didn't send her myself in this body, in this knowledge. This was done with my permission before I entered in this body. So if we prepared her and sent her, you know she did a perfect job. So I was helped for 3 and some years watching the nation go into the abyss of hell. And then, after I got the full understanding, that wasn't until the scientists came and took me and told me who she is and what they did. And I said, oh, when knowledge comes, it sure brings a relief. You'll be at your wit's end trying to figure out what is going on. And when the knowledge comes, it's like a light comes on. Bam! You say, oh, going back to the zero, you're oh. You say, oh, man, how sweet it is. I got it now. I couldn't wait to get back home. Broke back into the house, looked at her, said, I know you, baby. I got you now. Because the time was up. Are you listening? From zero to God. The shackles was taken off of me. I'm free now to move. What Wallace had to do, the effects of it had been done. All that he was supposed to get, he would have gotten them. So now I can move. If I want to confront him, go confront him. If I don't, leave him alone. If I want to help Minister Farrakhan, go help him. If I don't, leave him alone. I'm free. And then I was taken around the universe and showed a little of everything. I don't know if you can even imagine that. Is this boring? From zero to God. Now I got some people that is experiencing these things in the spiritual and mental. Just for me going through it, it's not time for you to actually go on the ships by yourself yet before I take you or before you get permission for me to send you. Because that experience is so exhilarating, you might forget that I am Allah. Because once you step out from this realm of foolishness and you become totally engulfed in power, which is positive, there ain't no such thing as darkness. There ain't no such thing as wrong. Don't even exist. There ain't no such thing as God. It just is. And you feel it all over your being. So when you're out in the universe and you see these things that bear witness to this, and you actually looking at it, you can feel the vibrations of it, and it's all in harmony with you. You say, whoa, this is something else. Yes, sir. You can't even find nothing wrong. Don't even think wrong. I hope you're listening. From zero to God. This is what I was able to experience in the fullness of God. Like the minister said, yes, the highest form of Allah is in his physical. Because if it's physical, he got to have the other two already there. Is that right? Now, if he was just physical and didn't have the other two, he ain't God. He's just a male. Or we can call a person. Right? From zero to God. Now, after seeing these things and returning back, having this type of knowledge, and I pray you listen, Lewis. I pray you listen. You don't go on so far off into the abyss of stupidity. You still can't outrun me. You can't outreach me. You don't operate in no realm of knowledge that supersedes my limit. Even in darkness. And there's no end to darkness in the space. But we don't worry about it because there's nothing there. So whenever we want to put something there, the space has no power to resist us. So, like I said, there's no running or hiding place from me. You can't get away. I said, a lot of y'all are sleepy. You must have been up partying last night. Are you following what I'm saying? I'm talking about you. I'm explaining what I went through, and this is just some of the highlights. So you understand. I understand. Now, after coming back, and I started to experience some of the things that I saw in the form of power with my own family. With my own family. And then I got in touch with the messenger, or King Joseph. And he and myself prepared my daughter, mother. And I had some other children with me at the time. However, our focus was on mother because we needed a mother to stay in accord with the rhythm of creation. We need a mother. Did we, according to your estimation, produce one for you? From zero to God. Walking through this, living this with the knowledge that I have, and only able to tell a very few, a limited number of people, which I know the world is supposed to know this. If they don't know it, they can't make the change. And if they will refuse to know it, then I don't have no reserves or no guilt in destroying them. It'd be like putting a log on the fire and watch it burn. It's going to crackle, pop, and you all be hollering and screaming, and I'll be looking. But you got to go away from here. It's real simple. It's real simple. And those of you that are already with me and your parents that are still influencing you as though they got some kind of power over you and they still with this world, you don't understand what you're doing. You don't understand what you're doing. Why is it none of you saw Master Fard Muhammad? You might say, well, we don't know where he is. He might be dead. He's been gone since in the 30s. In the 1930s, he's gone. You ain't know none of y'all saw him. But you constantly jump up and down by Master Fard Muhammad. You ain't never seen it. And how come nobody can point out not one scientist? Where are they? They got to be living. Why not? You think they don't know you here? They don't know what we're doing? Is it that they're so lofty that they can't stand your presence? Or is it that you can't stand theirs? If you think about that and they are the scientists, they won't make themselves known to you, and I am Allah. Not only am I making myself known to you, I'm making myself known, period. However, making myself known is coming through this darkness, this ignorance of the thinking to bring about the light. Are you all listening? We got a foothold now in the process of doing that. The things that the ministers expressed that was taking place around the country, they could not do it without no knowledge. And the knowledge that they gained it from me speaking. You know, you can stand on the moon. It represents equality, but you can literally stand on it. It will support your weight. You cannot stand on the sun. You can't stand on it. Nor can you stand on the sun rays. However, without it, it will be nothing. Now, to show you what I've been doing as far as being God, to even get this started, much like the sun does. We live because of the rays of the sun and the water. The sun germinates things in the earth. The vegetation that produces you. However, the sun itself never touches the earth. Only the effects of the sun touch it. The sun rays that I'm sharing are the tapes that I have. They're going out to many ears. Many people that cannot touch me because they can't get to me. But they receive life from what they hear. That's right. That's right. And it is increasing. This is a never-setting sun. So if you keep living, you're going to hear. And if you're going to hear, you're going to keep hearing enough until something germinates. If it don't germinate in you, you're going back to the earth and you're going to germinate the earth. You listen to what I'm saying? This is not a threat. This is nature. This is the law. You got that? From zero to God. It's a powerful man. Every time he steps up and be himself, he really moves me. However, as long as the man operates in the darkness, I can only be partially moved or look to see what he can be, but he's not. I hope what we're stepping into now actually brings him alive, where every time I see him, I can recognize and feel my own power, other than just through the messenger. And that's the one that the messenger was standing on when he was clothed in the sun. That's a boss for our soul. We didn't give him all that power just to walk around and not express it. But he's no more powerful than you. He's just one that's one of the fathers or the uncles that is capable of dealing with the second uncle, where the second uncle cannot deny him. He's got experience. We already seen it. He was the base, or what the messenger was standing on as far as a person or the moon or the secretary. The one that so many of you all hate. Because you think he stole the money. Well, if he stole it, what is Lewis doing? He's been here long enough to get it back. Where are their hotels and farmlands and things where they're actually reaping anything from it? I forgive who I please. I forgive my mother for letting me go with somebody else. After I found out why it was happening, it wasn't necessary to forgive her. I just understood it. A man reared me by the name of James Jenkins. A brother protected me, which we call Uncle Bobby. His name is James Brown. My brother-in-law was named James Hollis Brown. I couldn't get away from them Jameses. You see? So I have gone through everything that you're going through. A lot of things I haven't told you. The mother of my children is Satan herself. Now I know some of you brothers say, no, brother, it can't be Father because she's with me. Use the math. The most important child that was to ever be born from a womb of a woman. Remember, the original law was never born. He was never born. Even when he occupied a body, he summons it. It didn't come from no woman. So the most important person ever to exist that was born from the womb of a woman, you looking at it. We must understand the very reason why that the original law had to leave or did leave to find out what was going on. That power or that force was determined to kill this body. It was unsuccessful. I'm saying this so you understand. We have had many people come to live with us. We haven't found one yet that was able to hang. Not just with me. You might be hanged with me. Because I'm so flexible, I get you when when the water's going away, you're going one way. I'll be getting you, be rocking you, oh man. But if you don't know how to do that, you can't do that because you get caught up. It's like a person going to swim. They can really swim. You look at them, boy, they're poetry in the water. They look like a fish. Then you get the idiot jump in, he can't swim. Then he's going up and going down. Somebody better jump in and save it. You see? Most of the ones that came and stayed with mother. Because, and I heard what the minister from Atlanta said. They got their spanking from mother. Well, if you bad, you're supposed to get a spanking. If she don't spank you, I'm going to spank her. Because if she raises a lazy child, I got to kill the child and spank her. If mother raised a lazy child and defied the messenger and myself, I got to kill you and almost bring her to death. And if she defied us again or any more, I'd have no problem taking her there either. This ain't nothing personal. Love your daughter. I got another daughter. She's not here today. She's in class F. It don't please me because Satan is still trying to get me. He's trying to make me to experience disappointment. Disappointment. If he can heap enough disappointment on me, I might say, well, the hell with it and kill them all. Then the righteous, I would kill them. He would charge me, you killed the righteous. I didn't do it. I had no power over them. You had a fit and you killed them. Ha ha ha. You think about it. So I got all of yours negative on me. I don't just have mine. I don't have any. Like you can say, well, yeah, I got negative father. I know. The bad part about that is you give it to me and you still got it. I'm going to say this again. You give me your negative and you still got it. So there's never no ending of you giving it to me. It's just that I can take it, but I got a time period on it. From 0 to God. I hope you understand what I'm saying. We got a brother here that's from my hometown. I got so many things I want to do. So many things. You all like Brother Abbas stood up and gave a financial report as far as what we're doing, what we want to do. That's very light, and I certainly appreciate what you're doing so far. I appreciate it. And what will let you know I appreciate it, the more you do, the more I will make it able for you to do. I may not come to your house and sit down and have dinner with you, but I'll make sure you have dinner. You understand? We want to get so many things done. If you don't have the finances to do it, you know somebody. And how you ask them is through your whole body language. When they can see that you truly are the righteous, and what you're going to do with what they have is creditable, they will rush to give you. However, as long as they have the slightest inkling that you are like them, they're going to be niggardly and hold back. Because why make you another them? Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to go too long. I know probably you're getting hungry. What time is it? Nobody has the time? It's 5:30? I said I was going to stop at 5:30 then. 5:30? All right. Well, we won't go over that. It's still from zero to God. This ain't just me I'm talking about. It's us. I have made a way. It's straight and narrow. The key word is straight. You don't have to worry about when you're going to run up on the curve. Or you're going slow enough to make it. Or you're going too fast. There are no curves. Are you listening? In my hometown, where this woman raised me, when I was speaking with the scientists, they had caused me to understand the nature of a desert. The nature of a desert. Deserts were not always deserts, since all land came through water. So it could not have always been a desert. Does that make sense? Now, the place I was raised at was called San Domingo. San Domingo. The messenger come out of Sandersville, Georgia. The knowledge was kept between the 12 in the deserts in Arabia. So it's staying in keeping with this sand, meaning that no water. Really meaning no knowledge. The knowledge was locked up. It wasn't gave freely so that we could end the desert. So now we compare North America as a desert in the way of being spiritual or righteous. It's a desert. It's desolate. So I'm brought here in this body, carried to San Domingo, and stay there. Me and my sister, or my sister and I, are twin. A camel with 2 humps. So now we are carrying water that we cannot give nobody else because the water is for us to survive. You know, a camel don't regurgitate the water and give you any. If you ride in his back and you carry something with you, he may carry you across the desert, but then it'll give you none of its water. Is that right? And you got a camel with 1 hump and you got it with 2 humps. I came with 2 humps. I had the knowledge, but I couldn't give it to nobody. I was in the desert. I had to leave the desert, be invited to leave to go to another place where I had left from, back to New York. To understand now, I could get some water that's pure. So much so where I can learn to make water. This is what I'm doing now. I don't mean females. I'm making knowledge, sharing it with you where you can actually come alive. Like it reads in the Bible in prophecy, the light of him led all into the hereafter. The light of him, not her. And I'm having calls from the brothers coming up. They can't do this because their wives say no. I got 7 wives. I defy all 90 of them to tell me what I can do. I don't have 90. But if it was 999 of them, they're not going to tell me what I can do. If I cannot see from the point of math, and if I have an understanding that I'm building something that is for the comfort of this people that are here, and the planet and the universe, what possibly could come up to make me listen to something that is less than the idea of what I'm actually breathing for? Black man, why would you do this? We can't say that the woman got to know. Maybe she don't have to really know. She ain't God. She knows what she knows, and there's a limit to it. Look how big the ocean is, but it has a boundary. We got some large lakes, but it has boundaries. Matter of fact, the boundaries is of such that we put it in the book. Actual facts. So if we can measure it, it must mean we could go further than that. Is that right? So if you're going to stand up, black man, from zero to God, you got to stand up with the knowing that there is nothing greater than you. Not your woman, nor no substance that you are taking. To feel good means nothing because it changes. To actually be is where it's really at. And all of you all that have things, and the things are greater to you than me, I'm going to keep my promise. I'm a jealous God. Whatever you have above me as your God, I'm going to take it from you. And don't give you me and see what you do. Maybe I should say this again. These are the ones that are with me. All you got to do is be like me. That's all. Give when you have. When you don't have, you can't give. Put your hand out to receive. And most certainly something will be coming. We're duty bound to do that. If you're going to be like me, and whatever you have, if it's not in the way of bringing this nation about, you're going to lose it. Everything that is here in and on this planet is to serve you, black man. However, when we made it, we put laws and rules to it. So if you don't use it right, if you don't have the right combination, it can't serve you. Not that it don't want to, it just can't, because you didn't push the right button. You got that? From zero to God. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. I see it's really getting to you. I want you all to have a good time tomorrow. Enjoy yourself, those of you that stay here. Enjoy yourself. Take advantage of what we already do have, what you have already built. However, I want this hotel or motel, I want to raise the flag up there. And in my hometown, where I was raised up by these Jameses, I want to put forth there something new. And I can only make myself manifest through people that is willing to be new here. I don't want to make them do nothing, because if I got to make it, you ain't new. I can't make nothing new from you that way. If I can bring something different, but it can't be new, because just the attitude of you taking is going to put an element in it that's already been here, which is called negative. It won't be new, just different. So I've got a family there. Most of the time you hear me speak about them. It's the same thing as when I spoke about Sister National Aisha. It's been somewhat of a task to get her to be herself because of what Satan did to her. Because he knew all of y'all before you know yourself. So he put all kind of roadblocks up to make sure you never reach me. And when you start to reach me and you see the light, he really jump on you then. He really jump on you. Your mother and father disown you. You know, your brother may run around and shoot at your tires. You know, you be caught up in a whole bunch of stuff. However, when the God see you and he called for you, you can't hold back. Because what he's calling for is your nature. And you've got to answer. However, when you do, happiness overtakes you. So I would like to reiterate this again. Maybe by the year, I'm saying maybe, God don't usually speak in maybe, but I want to give a margin or error of margin here. Maybe by the year 2000, we'll hold independence there in my hometown. In at least about 3 new structures. It can be easily done if the family comes alive. Your uncle Bobby is down there, and I got to say he's a man among men. He said, Father, would it be all right if we stayed and worked on the farm and make sure everything stays in order instead of coming to the independence? I said, is that what you really want to do? He said, yes, sir, I really want to do that because nature don't wait for us. I said, well, I don't mind doing that because he understands. Nature don't. You know, when it's time for something to grow, it grows. If it's time for it to be planted, you better be done planted. It's not going to wait. So he understands that. And the ones that came from here, that we sent from here, heaven, down on the farms in Maryland, they sent words that, Father, we don't want to come back. We don't want to come to the independence. We want to stay here on the farm with Uncle Bobby. And they were genuine. So I said, well, whoa, what is Bobby teaching them? And then I found out it was Bobby coupled with Brother Avery. I'm understanding they're having some dynamite classes. I'm thinking seriously, going down there and listen, and I'll be taught something. You know, I like to get in the spirit. I don't want to go down there and take over. I'd like to see this kind of spirit. And last I heard, I think it was 5 new people came in. Is that right? Is it one of the classes? 5 came in. I'd already told him. I told you sometime before when he and I were at odds with each other just a little bit. I said, Avery, soon, so many people can be walking in your house and wear a hole in your rug, a path through your rug. Did you see it in a dream? Or your wife? One of y'all saw it, didn't you? And then I came and told you? Or I told you first and you saw it first? Which one? I told him first. He saw it. Now, that's the only place that people meet at. So, we might have to come up with some money to get him a rug. It's happening. It's happening. The scientists said, we love you so much. We will change whatever has to be changed. All you do, just ask us. They didn't say I was going to change it. They would do it for me. And one thing I'm asking is that you all be worthy of their attention. They have so many gifts to give you. We got one brother, Brother Jonathan, out of Baltimore. The brother has such a spirit on him that the scientists, they just delights in it. They've been showing him a whole bunch of things. You know, so much that he can't really tell everything. We might think he look bad. But they've been showing him a lot of things. Is that true, Brother Jonathan? Where you at? Oh, there he is. Yes, sir. So he's working on quite a few things I think that's new that he's going to present to us. However, this is what we're about. New. We are about this. New. And these brothers that I notice got power. Y'all keep laying back as though something is holding you. Ain't nothing holding me. If it ain't holding me, it's not holding you. And don't tell me if nothing but no woman is holding you. I don't want to hear that. You're supposed to hold her. Is that right? All right, sisters. That's right. You know, I'm a wonderful person. However, I make water disappear. For real. That's why we have deserts. Water was there and now it's just gone. I'm going to let you go. From zero to God. You get this tape and you compare what has happened with you as to what I say. Some of the things that's happening with me. Now, if you know every time we make a step forward, we got to break through. We always got to break through something. Because the man that's already here that you and I made God, he's not going to give you nothing. He ain't going to give you nothing. Even after we put him in the pit of hell, he still had the nerve to ask us, will you send us Lazarus with a drop of water? Now, we done gone so far as we done contained him, put him in hell, and we cooking him. Why would we then go send him some water? You see? So the man not going to give up. And we're not sending him to no other planet. He's too smart. He know how to get off it. The only place we could send him that would give us a little time is we send him to Jupiter. That would be enough time for us to really do what we got to do. However, he would finally figure out how to get off. But right now, he don't have enough brain power to break the gravitational pull from Jupiter because of his size and power. He can hardly get off on Earth's surface. I guess this is God talking. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, go ahead. Yes, you all may get busy serving the food. If that's what you like to do, my daughter's extremely hungry. She's, she hasn't been eating like anything. You know, I've been calling her, she's been calling me, and then when you all call, the phone's just busy. So we talk to each other. However, you all may start with the food. Some of you all, I don't know, how many of you are here, sisters, that is expecting to be mothers? By show of your hands? Just one? You mean to tell me the nation's not growing? How many are pregnant? We got by 3 or 4 pregnant. Brothers, we got to build this nation. Oh. Well, one thing, you know, this is one thing that maybe I'll tell you all a little keys about mother. You listening? If you ever want to get along, I don't mean get along just to go along, but really get along in the spirit of myself. Through what mother does, she's a very playful person. She plays with Satan all the time because he can't do nothing with her. She's very witty. She's very quick. If you take this in the right spirit and start to learn how to think quick that way, you will be surprised how free you are. Her attribute is happiness. How can a person be happy if they're not free? So what I'm saying is, if her attribute's going to come alive, you don't have to always see her as being somebody that's bringing down the law. She loves her father so much she wants to make sure that the children is presentable to the father. So when you all do things and you don't pay attention in the questions that I'm told that she asked, you all in the classes and whatnot, they're so simple you overlook it. One I heard she asked the person, you know, you can get this if you just tell me what your name is. They missed it. Because they think it was something that's complicated. Just tell them what your name is. You see? Real simple. And I did that to her. All right, well, I'm going to let you go. I may sit and have y'all got any wine here? You got something cold to drink? You may sit and watch y'all serve, whatnot, and be happy. Enjoy yourself for the rest of the time that you're here. However, but no, I want you to know this. We just started. We're nowhere near finished. We can't even see the finish line. That's how far we're from it. And don't worry about the minister, Lewis, or nobody else. They all get ready to go to war and wipe each other out. You hear what God said? They get ready to go to war and wipe each other out. Now, if you sympathize with them, you're going to get caught up in it. And don't come along and call me, Father, somebody smacked me, or one of the minister's brothers shot me, because you were there trying to teach them, trying to make them. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. If they're too blind to see what's really happening, let them wander off aimlessly in their blindness. If they're to be woke up, I'll do that. Believe me, I know how to open my eyes. And they won't see nothing but the light. They won't see nobody in the light. They just see the light. So when you go to wail on them, they never even see where the blow coming from. Light is blinding them. All right? Well, I hope I made myself clear concerning. I'm not saying that I gave knowledge. I call myself giving a few keys to let you know everything starts from zero. At one time, we in the mathematical thinking classes, we used to always say, you got to go back to zero. You got to go back to zero. So today I thought I would let you know it's a law.
Yes, sir.
However, if you have that negatively thinking or zero thinking all the time, you never get out of zero. You don't have to go back to it. You never left it. Right? I want to get these things in Maryland. I want to get the mill. I want to get we already sent off one of the brothers, I think Brother Brian from California, and his wife gave us $5,000 to send off for the plantain chips over in Cameroon, Africa. The sister, since we started dealing with him, the devil jumped on her with all 10 feet, and Satan backed him up. So she's catching all kind of hell to make sure that she keep the plant open so it can even produce what we're asking. It got so bad at one point, I told Brother Boss, asked her, can we go over and do it for us, for them? We'll work in the factory and produce it. So we still ain't said, it still ain't been no yet. She's still struggling. I guess she's looking at that to be the last option. But just to let you know, Satan is not going to just let you have it. You understand? He's not going to just let you go. He's the God of this world. So he's not going to open up the door and let you out. You got to come on through it. So if she needs that kind of money, a couple $100,000, and we have the controlling interest, and they got quite a bit of land there. They want us not give. They want us to just take it and use it. Come over and just use it. Africa's big. I'm giving you back the planet. Do you want it, or you just want to have a sandwich shop? Well, brothers, in order for this to take place, we have to stand up with a conviction in our mind. We still do things in a balanced manner. I'm not saying if you got $10,000 in the bank and you paying $2,000 a month rent, you come give us $10,000 and you gotta call me back and say, Father, I need to pay the rent. Don't do it that way. Give us the $10,000 and move out. Don't do that. But however, what you do, plan. And when you start planning, I can help you plan. We're not asking you to give me. What you give is to yourself. And remember, the larger we get, just like the minister is talking about how people is coming by paying, marveling at what we're doing as far as building your home or bringing it back to life. Every home we bring back to life, and we finally end up with rolling hills. If you get put out of hell into heaven. You got a place. You got a place. But as long as you keep waiting, you don't have no great big place. You have a potential of getting one. I have one. I'm not operating in this universe and don't have something of my own. That's not the way God does things. I got a planet of my own. I am independent. You hear what I said? I'm a giver. First, I gave myself. Now, to make sure that the original law is treated the way he should be. So now I'm giving him, you, back pure. Again. Or I won't say again. For the first time. If he could have done it himself, he would have did it. There would be no need for me. We would just waved at each other in passing. And I go into my universe and kept on stroking. You see? That didn't happen. Like man, you God, from zero to God. You got to recognize it. Everything that come against you really ain't against you. It's for your learning. All right? We need some mechanics. We need to double everything we got now. We need to double it. We need mechanics. We need cooks. And for you all that worked all night last night and whatnot, and I called all the places this morning, and some of you were dragging, I understand. I understand. If you want to get your energy back real quick, get you some ice water with some fructose, at least a glass of it, 3 spoonfuls of fructose, and drink it. Ice cold. The colder the water is, the more power it has, but it must be water, not ice. You got it? Okay. I love you. Study the tape. If I couldn't get away from it, you think, like the Quran reads, do you really believe you're going to heaven on a flowery bed of ease? When God himself had to sail bloody seas, it ain't going to happen. However, the road, the effort that you put forth to make it to the end is so gratifying that you don't experience pain, you experience knowledge. And you could say you've earned it and nobody can take it from you. So this way it's yours. It wasn't given. And when it's not given and you've earned it, you've made it yourself, this means that you are the controller of it. It will answer to you. It will do what you say do. And everything that is ours is really that which is real. And you got to get back to being real. And you can't get back by just thinking it. You got to get busy doing something that's going to make you think. That's going to make you think. You can't say I'm not doing it around the world and around this country. I'm busting it up. You can't say it. I'm not going to allow no tongue, if it's a tongue, that can speak on an intelligent level, bear witness that there's any other God other than Royall. You understand? If you all remember back, if you got the tape back when I first got started, I think I was speaking in the library, Spalding's library in Maryland, and a brother got up and asked me what my name is and got smart and whatnot. And Brother Abbas said, his name is Solomon. He wondered, well, you got to tell him what his name is? I spoke up, I said, well, you don't want to know my real name. You don't want me to be that. Royall. That's my name, but you don't want me to be that yet. It's better that I be Solomon. I'm building. Royall don't build. I don't build nothing. Royall don't build. I create, but I don't build. And anything that's in the way of the creation, I eliminate it. Here, it don't even exist no more. I don't kill it. It's just gone. It don't exist. It's gone. That's Royall. You see what I'm saying? All right, so I'm styled as Solomon. My name is Royall. However, most of you don't want to know Royall yet. Well, he's a good guy. Assalamu alaikum.